You may notice that the background of this library marketing show looks a little different. That's because I just came off the stage at the Florida Library Association conference, where I delivered what some people have called a manifesto about something very important to me. I want to talk about this thing that feels really obvious and has somehow become really radical at the same time. And that is how libraries start to act like book experts again, and what that means for library marketing. We're going to get into it in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from superlibrarymarketing.com. Head on over there and look for the Library Marketing Show tab so you can ask a question that I'll tackle in a future episode of the show, or nominate your library or another library for kudos. And I may be shooting this episode remotely, but I'm never going to skip kudos. So kudos in this episode is going to Ontario City Libraries. Someone I met at a conference last fall named Starla has sent in this recommendation. So thank you very much, Starla. This is for a reel that was a parody inspired by Mean Girls, but was centered around romantasy readers and fandom culture. I think that's great, and it kind of rolls right into today's episode. So I'm going to put a link to this reel down below. Give it a like for Ontario City Libraries, and great job. All right, so let's talk about this episode's topic, which is why we need to start promoting our libraries as centers of book expertise. Here's what I mean about that before you panic. I'm not saying that libraries should stop offering other programs and services like maker spaces and technology events and homework help and all those good things that your library offers. But somewhere along the way, libraries have stopped leading with the one thing that is really their core brand asset, and that is book discovery and connecting readers with books that they love. Now, here's why I think this is something that can be fixed with marketing. If readers are not seeing the library as a place to discover their next great read, then we as libraries are going to slowly be losing that emotional connection that reminds people that libraries matter in their lives. We need that connection right now more than ever because of all of the book challenges and book bans, and because reading has a lot of competition with social media and streaming videos and all the other things that can capture our leisure reading time. We are competing with all of those things. I shared on stage some research from Australia Reads and Monash University, and they found out that the reason that people are reading infrequently is not because they start a book and then they just don't like it. It's because they have a really difficult time browsing. So browsing education for our communities is something that we can address in library marketing. We can show how easy it is to browse with videos, short form videos for TikTok or other social media platforms. We can send emails to our patrons that have book selections in them and talk about why we are recommending those books. We can create a landing page on our website that makes it super easy and puts all of the reader resources, all the things that we use to connect readers and books all in one place. We can reduce that friction and make it easy. And on stage, I shared a couple of tips. One is to stop writing really long blurby annotations when you're doing reading recommendations. Speak conversationally, do like 2 or 3 sentences about why you think this book is great, and then add a sentence to the end about why you, the library marketer or the librarian, are recommending that book. That really drives home that those books are human curated. And that's something we need to be doing in the age of AI too. I am so passionate about this because we know that people will protect the things that they value. And so if we start making reading a part of modern day life and we start promoting it as not as this thing that you get to do maybe on the weekend when you're done with your chores, but as a daily part of our modern life, people will start to value that. News, I'm going to be turning this keynote address that I did into a full-blown course for library marketers and non-marketers alike. It's going to be available on Learn with Novelist. I'm going to put some information about Learn with Novelists down below, a link that you can follow. That course should be launching towards the end of June. So I'm curious what you think of my proposition. Does it resonate with you, or do you have some concerns about centering reading and reading joy in your library marketing? I'm open to both. Let's get a conversation started down in the comments. That's it for this episode of the Library Marketing Show, remote from Orlando, Florida. But my channel has lots of other tips for library marketing. If you're interested in learning more, head to the next video. I'll meet you there.